Chapter 2 of Jane Eyre begins, and Bessie and Abbott struggle to bring Jane to the Red Room and comment that Jane has never behaved like this before. Jane explains that she always tries to do good, but it never seems to change anything. She then recalls her uncle, Mr. Reed, who took her in as an infant when her parents died, and how, on his deathbed, he had asked Mrs. Reed to promise to keep Jane as one of their own children. Thinking she sees his ghost, she screams out of fright. Bessie and another servant arrive and try to convince Mrs. Reed to let her out, but she refuses. Jane faints in exhaustion and fear. Chapter 3 takes place the next morning when Jane wakes up in her own bed, comforted by the apothecary, Mr. Lloyd. Tearful and depressed, she stays in bed all day. Bessie, to no avail, tries to cheer her up, bringing Jane her favorite tart and book. Later on, Mr. Lloyd coaxes her into telling him what is wrong. She describes John's bullying, having no family, and her wish to leave Gateshead, and he suggests that she might enjoy going to school. After much deliberation, Jane decides it would be a good idea. Later, she overhears the servants talking about her parents and learns that Mrs. Reed is happy to have her leave. Chapters 2 and 3 answer questions about Jane's relationship to the Reeds and how and why she came to be at Gateshead. Mrs. Reed's hypocrisy becomes apparent in breaking the promise she made to her husband. The Red Room brings in some Gothic elements popular at the time the book was written. A cold, decorated room amidst a storm where someone has died. The Red Room is also a significant symbol, representing Jane's isolation and feelings of not being wanted. In this scene, the storm further reflects her tumultuous emotions and the frightening reality of her isolation. These emotions will come back as Jane battles with societal restrictions and becoming a woman.